Keean, Rebel News. My question is...
I want to answer Rebel News.
Okay, well, I'll keep asking the question because a judge said that we could be here and ask questions, so I'll continue to ask the question. Western separatism is on the rise, and if TMX is cancelled by a May, Singh, Trudeau coalition, that intention will inevitably spike even more. What's your advice to Albertans who think that Confederation is broken?
My answer is that I won't answer you.
Hi, Mr. Trudeau. Since your multiple use of blackface became an international scandal, Canada's international reputation has been irreparably harmed. Have you reached out to any African leaders or any leaders from the Middle East to apologize for your conduct?
Canada will continue to engage in a positive, constructive way around the world, standing up for human rights, engaging with leaders right around the world, because we know that promoting our values and prosperity for everyone around the world is good for Canadians and creates better opportunities for everyone.
So that didn't answer the question at all. Have you spoken to any African leaders or leaders from the Middle East to apologize for your personal conduct? Keean, RNN, have you, your campaign, or any other agents secured non-disclosure agreements from anyone about inappropriate sexual personal conduct?
No.
Follow-up, the 2001 yearbook from West Point Grey Academy says that you and convicted sex offender Christopher Ingvaldson made a young student's, quote, life at WPGA a lot more interesting / amusing, end quote. How did you two keep her amused?
We were teachers.
David Menzies, Rebel News. Mr. Prime Minister, you left West Point Grey Academy in the middle of a term, which is highly unusual. It was a law firm that made this announcement, which is also highly unusual. Sir, can you tell us the real reason why you left so abruptly, and did it involve any kind of sexual misconduct at the school?
I wrote 3 pages on that in my autobiography. And it involved absolutely nothing of the sort of the rumors that you're trying to spread.
Even so, Mr. Prime Minister, a follow-up question. Why did so many teenage girls write so passionately about you in the yearbook? Was there any connection to you having a relationship with these girls or their mothers?
I was a good teacher.
Mr. Scheer, only 6% of Canadians indicate they want to see immigration increased, yet you are on board with the Trudeau Liberals' plan to increase immigration to 350,000 migrants per year. Why is that?
I will ensure that our targets respond directly to the needs of our economy and our population.
But sir, I'm curious how you came to that number of 350,000. Many of these migrants are, of course, family reunification cases. They're not going to contribute to the economy. They're, in fact, going to take away from it. I'm just wondering, again, how did you come to this number? And are you just afraid to dispute Justin Trudeau when it comes to immigration numbers?
Keean Bexte, Rebel Media. Justin Trudeau's platform says that he will ban certain speech on the internet, especially speech that is deemed, quote, hurtful. I'm wondering why you haven't been more vocal about any opposition to that, if you are opposed to that, given your primary campaign. You talk so much about free speech on university campuses. Why doesn't that apply to the digital world? Hi, Elizabeth May told me earlier today, and I think she spoke in the other debate recently, that she wants the Alberta oil sands offline in a decade. What's the date that you want the Alberta oil sands offline?
Sorry, what's your name?
My name's Keean. I'm with RNN.
You're with who?
RNN.
I'm going to pass on the question, my friend.
Okay, so do I get the follow-up then? Or you're just going to pass on the question for...
Yeah, I'm not going to answer it.
It's a hard one, or...
No, I'm just not going to answer your question.
Okay,
anyone else can ask
the follow-up, I guess, would be, how do you have the moral authority to take the Alberta oil sands offline, given Alberta just recently rejected your party in the largest democratic mandate that the province has ever seen?
I'm not going to answer your question, but thanks.
It's a hard one, hey?
Yeah. Thanks, man.
Ms. May, David Menzies with Rebel News. Ms. May, in 2015, you stated that convicted terrorist Omar Khadr had more class than the entire effing Conservative cabinet under Stephen Harper. Do you still believe in 2019 that this convicted terrorist has more class than the entire Conservative Party under Andrew Scheer?
Have you ever been to a press gallery dinner? Do you
Yes.
understand the concept of it being ridiculous with lots of humor? I'm sorry, that's not a real question.
Oh, sorry. If this was an attempt at humor, a supplemental question, do you think that the widow
You think people
and the
give
fatherless
serious
children
speeches?
and the fatherless children of Christopher Scheer, his murder victim, do you think they found that funny, Miss May?
I'm Ms. May, Keean Bexte, Rebel Media. My question revolves around what you told me earlier today. You said you want to take the Alberta oil sands offline within a decade. I'm wondering how you have the moral authority to do that when your party isn't polling competitively in any riding in Alberta whatsoever.
First of all, it's not news. If you'd paid any attention to our platform since May, you would have known that. Our plan is a phasing out of dependence on fossil fuels with a particular focus on just transition for workers. We're very concerned about workers in the fossil fuel sector, and the question of what we do next, framed as moral authority, has something to do with whether our generation has the moral authority to end human civilization within the lifetime of our children.
Do you think that the Alberta oil sands are going to end civilization?
I don't think you understand the science.
I do. I have a Bachelor of Science in Energy Sciences and Energy Economics. I understand
Sorry,
quite well.
I don't want to laugh.
Hi, Keean Bexte, Rebel News, right here.
sorry.
My question revolves around journalism in Canada. 3 journalists came to this debate tonight, but they weren't going to be let in, myself included. We had to apply for an emergency court injunction to be allowed to cover the one English debate that our Prime Minister took part in. What does that say about the state of journalism in Canada and the contempt that the Prime Minister currently has for journalists?
It's a shame, you know. We're a free democracy. We believe in freedom.
Hi, Keean Bexte, Rebel News. My question is about the $600 million media bailout. I'm wondering if you think, has that bailout compromised the coverage of this election?
First of all, as you know, we won't give that money to traditional media. I think it is not the role of the government to bail out media. I think the media must be independent from the government, not dependent from the government. And we don't know if that will have an impact. Maybe I'll let Canadians decide on that. But for us, we want to be sure that our media will be independent.
And my follow-up on a separate topic is in regards to national defense. None of the debates that, the several debates that the Prime Minister has participated in, they haven't really covered national defense. Are you bothered by that?
Dave Menzies, Rebel News. Mr. Bernier, Mr. Scheer did a press conference a few days ago at the infamous Roxham Road crossing into Canada. He spoke about things like hiring extra border guards, tightening the Safe Third Country agreement with the U.S., and I think a lot of people who want more border security would applaud those. However, he didn't go as far as suggesting to build a wall or a fence. I'm curious, what is your position in that regard in terms of tightening up border security via a physical impediment to these illegal immigrants coming into Canada?
First of all, as you know, 45,000 of them crossed our border for the last 2 years. We must fix that.
And Mr. Bernier, second question on a different subject. As you know, the only reason why I am here, my colleague Keean Bexte is here, my friend Andrew Lawton with True North is here, is due to a federal court order that we got at the 11th hour on Monday. You, sir, were the only federal leader to tweet out your congratulations to that. I am curious, why do you think the other federal leaders didn't have any comment to make about really a groundbreaking judgment when it comes to freedom of the press?
It's very sad that they are not fighting for freedom of the press. And so, you know, you're a journalist. Maybe I like your question, maybe I won't like your question, but your role is to ask tough questions.
Hey, thanks for watching our campaign coverage here in Gatineau. Go to campaign2019.com to check out everything that we've done and everything that we're going to do. And if you want to help pitch into our costs to covering Justin Trudeau, Andrew Scheer, Maxime Bernier, Elizabeth May, Jagmeet Singh, please go there to pitch in.